It's Michael Waters again. Who knows? What I was interested in talking about tonight was complaining. Complaint. It means with a plea. And I've noticed that I'm not complaining. And I've noticed that people have noticed that. And it's led me to the snappy retort that all you need to do is face your normal destiny without whining. People give you tons of respect. So there's a good enough goal, like Lao Tzu had said in his statement on destiny. But for me, the idea of not complaining has been more than just for not encumbering those around me with an unnecessary pain. Of course, it's not an easy thing for a family to think of losing, one of their own. And it would, of course, be made worse if I was to plea in any form at all for things to be better. What's the point of that? So there's been this practice that is, in some ways, it's very interesting because the inner reality and the outer social family reality, they, by necessity, have differences to them. And I guess if on the inside you are complaining, it's going to be hard to keep that from anybody, and they'll know that you're suffering. And in fact, a few times over the last while, I've allowed myself to deliberately complain and say, oh, it sucks, bored, weak, or something like that. But it's mostly been so that everybody else around me wouldn't feel I was so distant and in such a different reality, which I have to say is, in many ways, the fact. Being in an existential position like I'm in currently, one tends to not care quite so much if other people are bothered by it. And one is more, perhaps, concerned with how one sees it oneself. At least that's been my experience. And since it doesn't bother me or perturb me, my inner sense is not one of complaining at all. And it's been interesting how that factor has been a challenge for the rest of my family and friends, because it makes me look or feel like I'm either distant from them and not sharing, reality, or that somehow or another I'm in some form of denial about a situation. Whereas I think it really should be clear that I have nothing to complain about ever, after having the life I've had and finding myself in the circumstance I'm in. So many millions of people are in such dire circumstances. So, no point in complaining about any of that stuff, really. Better off to put the effort to cultivating gratitude and for what one has already had, never mind what one may still get out of life. But for what one has already had, if you're at the point where you're watching this video, you've already had a lot of life experience. So the effort is better spent at cultivating gratitude for that as well. Anyways, those are Michael Waters' words for the day. And I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks here, because not only do my treatments finish, but I should be able to get seriously into starting production on these next 2 CDs, The Palace of Paul Horn and Ambience Under Waters. So all the best to you. See you later.